Good afternoon, everybody, and happy Friday again. Um, just a few hours ago, earlier today, on a call with a new client, I couldn't believe it. She actually asked me if her anxiety could possibly be the cause for having a couple of bouts of high blood pressure. She'd actually been to her doctor, who told her that it wasn't a factor, unbelievably. So I thought, with that in mind, I thought I'd best come on here and just explain the outline or the timeline of what happens when we do have those anxious feelings. So first up, you would have heard me speak before about stress hormones. So extra adrenaline is released into our bloodstream so as to prepare us for that famous phrase, fight or flight. So in history, I mean, we were initially developed to be able to survive, an attack or whatever, wild animals, etc. So anyway, the adrenaline is released into our bloodstream. Our heart rate increases so as to get oxygen into our bloodstream more quickly. And of course, as our heart basically is a pump, of course, our blood pressure goes up. And, that's what astounded me. But anyway, this is obviously the heart as a pump pumps the blood. Blood pressure goes up so that blood can reach the parts of us that's needed. For example, if we needed to run away, the blood is pumped, to our legs, to our arms if we need to fight. At the same time, blood is also, as a survival mechanism, it's diverted away from our organs, such as our stomach, liver, intestines, that kind of thing. And funny enough, that's our central nervous system as well. It's also for any long-term sufferers, if you know of long-term sufferers of chronic stress or even chronic anger, if they have digestive issues, that also comes from this very reason. On top of that, the other stress hormone, cortisol, it increases the amount of glucose again into the bloodstream, and that's to get us ready for action. Fills us up full of energy, ready to go. Cortisol, however, also, if you have chronic stress or long-term depression, chronic anger even, it also impairs our immune system. And so again, anybody like that, or yourself, a long-term sufferer, if you're often getting sick, it's basically your immune system is compromised. And then in men, there is an increase in testosterone as well in that fight or flight phase, which again, that was initially to help us to survive. These days, it's a liability, really, with the kind of unnecessary violence, etc., we see in this modern world. So yeah, basically that great fight or flight, which was and still is a survival tool, it's mostly mal-adapted to this modern world. Not mal-adapted, but we've definitely, as a society, we haven't been taught to how to manage that heightened state of emotional arousal, which that's all it is, whether it's anger, anxiety. So it leaves us at risk of not just health issues long term, but in the moment, long-term issues with our physical health, but also emotionally and our mental health. But in the moment, there's, as we see in society, a risk of unnecessary violence, aggression, bullying, road rage, domestic violence, self-harm, and unfortunately even suicide. So yeah, a bit off tangent there, but I just thought I'd better come on and give that explanation again, especially when we hear that there's actual GPs saying that there's no link between anxiety and blood pressure. Mind boggles. They're all very good at handing out medications, aren't they? Anyway, that's it for today. Have a great weekend and chat again soon.